So the path does not die. Question 26 to 50 and answers. 26. How does Fina's refusal of initiation affect her life later? Answer. Fina's rejection of the initiation rite isolates her from her community. The humiliation scars her emotionally and motivates her lifelong struggle for respect, independence, and identity, both in Sierra Leone and in America. 27. How does Pede Hollist use contrast in the novel? Answer. Hollist contrasts Talaba's rural traditions with America's modern culture. Through this, he exposes Fina's emotional transformation and the clash between African heritage and Western influence, emphasizing the difficulty of balancing two conflicting worlds. 28. What is the role of women in the novel? Answer. Women symbolize strength, endurance, and change. Through Fina and others, Hollist portrays women confronting discrimination, breaking cultural limits, and asserting their voices, showing that resilience is central to female survival and progress. 29. How does Fina's relationship with Emerson differ from her past love? Answer. Fina's relationship with Ed differs from Eustace's betrayal. Though Ed cares for her, cultural misunderstandings arise. This shows how love across different Black identities can reveal emotional gaps and mutual growth. 30. What is the theme of betrayal in the novel? Answer. Betrayal shapes Fina's emotional journey. She faces deceit from Eustace and rejection from society. These betrayals deepen her resilience and teach her that self-worth must come from inner strength, not approval. 31. How is religion portrayed in So the Path Does Not Die? Answer. Religion appears as both guiding and hypocritical. While faith strengthens Fina's morality, others misuse it for control. Hollist shows how religion can inspire hope, but also justify oppression when wrongly applied. 32. What role does education play in social mobility? Answer. Education serves as Fina's ladder to progress. It empowers her to rise above cultural limits, gain independence, and compete in a modern world, proving that knowledge opens doors to equality and freedom. 33. How does Hollist explore cultural conflict? Answer. Cultural conflict arises when African traditions meet Western modernity. Fina's experiences reveal how individuals struggle between loyalty to customs and the desire for self-expression in a changing post-colonial world. 34. What does Fina's journey symbolize? Answer. Fina's journey symbolizes self-discovery and transformation. Her movement from Talaba to America mirrors the emotional, social, and spiritual evolution of many African women seeking dignity and identity beyond cultural constraints. 35. How does migration affect Fina's identity? Answer. Migration exposes Fina to opportunity and alienation. She gains education and independence, but feels displaced. Her experiences show that identity cannot rely solely on geography, but on understanding and acceptance of oneself. 36. What lessons about love does Fina learn? Answer. Fina learns that love without respect brings pain. Betrayals from Eustace and misunderstandings with Ed teach her to value self-love, independence, and emotional honesty over blind romantic devotion. 37. How does Hollist address female oppression? Answer. Hollist condemns customs that exploit women, like forced initiation and gender inequality. Through Fina's defiance, he celebrates education and self-awareness as tools to challenge oppressive traditions and rebuild self-esteem. 38. What role does memory play in the novel? Answer. Memory shapes Fina's identity. Her past humiliation in Talaba and experiences of love and loss influence her growth. Remembering pain helps her transform weakness into wisdom and self-acceptance. 39. How does the novel reflect post-colonial African society? Answer. The novel reflects a society balancing modern progress and old customs. Through corruption, migration, and gender issues, Hollist portrays the tension of Africans striving for identity in a post-colonial world. 40. What is Fina's greatest challenge? Answer. Fina's greatest challenge is inner peace. Haunted by rejection, heartbreak, and displacement, she must overcome guilt and self-doubt to achieve self-acceptance and a stable sense of belonging. 41. How does Fina represent the modern African woman? Answer: Fina represents the modern African woman, ambitious, educated, and self-aware. She challenges patriarchal expectations, redefines her identity, and proves that women can pursue success without losing moral or cultural values. 42. How does Hollist portray male characters? Answer: Hollist presents men as complex, some exploitative, others principled. Eustace manipulates Fina, Ed misunderstands her, while Alusine values morality. These portrayals highlight gender imbalance and moral diversity in society. 43. What does the initiation ceremony symbolize? Answer: The initiation represents tradition's grip on womanhood. Fina's refusal symbolizes rebellion, independence, and her desire to define her body and choices beyond the limitations of patriarchal customs. 44. How does Hollist balance African and Western settings? Answer: Hollist merges both settings to show identity's dual nature. Africa provides roots and culture, while America offers exposure and challenge. Fina's experiences connect both worlds in her evolving identity. 45. What is the role of migration in shaping identity? Answer: Migration tests adaptability and faith. Fina learns that success abroad demands inner stability. Her experiences reveal that identity thrives, not in distance, but in understanding one's heritage and self. 46. How does Hollist use characterization to build themes? Answer: Each character represents a theme. Fina's resilience, Eustace's betrayal, and Ed's confusion highlight love, identity, and culture. Hollist's vivid characterization reinforces the novel's lessons on growth and moral strength. 47. What is the mood of the novel? Answer: The mood shifts from sorrow to hope. Fina's pain gives way to endurance, and the story's reflective tone leads to a conclusion of peace, renewal, and spiritual maturity. 48. How does the novel depict society's expectations of women? Answer: Society expects women to submit and obey. Fina's resistance exposes these oppressive standards, showing that fulfillment comes from courage, education, and the right to self-determination. 49. What literary techniques does Hollist use effectively? Answer: Hollist uses symbolism, flashbacks, imagery, and contrast. These techniques deepen understanding of Fina's emotions, reveal social conflicts, and make the narrative engaging and emotionally resonant for readers. 50. What overall message does So the Path Does Not Die convey? Answer: The novel urges readers to preserve culture without losing individuality. It celebrates endurance, education, and courage, reminding us that one's moral path must survive despite life's changing circumstances.